Hey, what's up, family? And welcome to my humble abode. Here we slow down, heal gently, and create with intention. I am so glad you're here. Hey, what's up, family? My name is Mia, and welcome to my Afrobohemian home, a place where we focus on simplicity, sustainability, and creating a home that heals. So, in this video, I wanted to share with you all my lessons learned and pretty much the steps that I have taken from my discovery to my changes and pretty much my plans going forward when it comes to not only building out a space of my own, but also to take care of my internal self. So, with that being said, let's begin. Since you last talked to me, I was going through it, right? Your girl was going through it. And needless to say, it led to a point where I noticed that my symptoms were getting worse. Go to the doctor that Monday. She saw me very quickly. Shout out to Dr. Allison. I went that morning about 9. By 12 o'clock, I was in the ER because I found out I was severely anemic and I needed a blood transfusion. I was really shocked. And I was a little disappointed in myself because I was like, how the heck did I end up here? Right. And during those hospital stays, I sat there and I was at peace. I didn't watch TV. Couldn't really write because I had IVs all in my arms and on my hands and stuff like that. And by the time I got out the hospital, I made the conscious decision that I'm not going back to this. I can't go through this. The point is that it was a change, right? It kicked off a change. And it makes me think about something that we talk about in class. And the current class we're in is in transformational learning. And they identify it as when something in your life dramatic happens of some situation. It could be good, bad, negative. Well, bad and negative, same thing. Good and bad happens in your life. But whatever it is, it makes you shift because it's challenging your beliefs, your current beliefs at that time. So for me, this was a transformational learning session. And it made me sit down and realize that the way I was living, the way that I was dealing with things were not the right way. And I need to do better with it. And I want to share that with you. So we're going to cover in this video is our 6 lessons that I have learned when it came to healing myself and healing my space. So we're going to start with lesson 1. We often put more energy into surviving than we do into truly living. When I initially started working with my current employer, my colleague and I would joke because he would always tell me that I was an overachiever, right? And it was very jokingly. He would call me an overachiever. And we used to laugh about it all the time because everybody else would be just doing things to get by or just doing what they could do. But me, I would just demolish whatever was in front of me. I felt like it was normal. When I slowed down and had to sit down, that's when I realized that what we joked about as overachieving was actually me surviving. Instead of just meeting the expectations of the job, I was going way above and beyond, which not necessarily hurt the job, but it hurt me because I was busy, but I was not present. And I was productive, but I wasn't really at peace. Lesson 2 is based around rewriting the relationship with our bodies. And the lesson I learned from this was that we treat our bodies like machines or dictatorships instead of sacred, loving relationships. We are very hard on our bodies, right? If you really trip off how many hours we do in a day, meeting the needs of our families, not including the stuff we put in our bodies, the work we put against it. And a lot of us don't take moments out to really appreciate our bodies and treat them like a relationship. Matter of fact, I wrote down a quote by Jim Rohn where he says, "Take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live." This is true. I don't think, at least for me, I didn't love my body the way I deserved to love it and that it deserved to be loved. And I didn't realize that until I was sitting in that hospital. My body was telling me for months that something was wrong, and I ignored the signs because I was too busy trying to survive. Lesson one. And after that, I had to realize that you have to take care of your body as much as possible because when it's all said and done, when it finally wants to give up and give in, there's nothing you can do about it. You're just going to fall with it. Lesson three is radical honesty with ourselves. We have to start being honest with ourselves about what we truly need. We do a lot of pretending when it comes to our bodies and its needs. As I just mentioned in the previous lesson, I did a lot of ignoring. Before I went to the doctor, I thought I needed to exercise more. That was my default thought. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. Maybe I'm getting too fat instead of really tripping off of it. And I had to eventually be honest with myself, right? That, especially for providers, especially if we're leaders of some sort, we almost deem ourselves like superheroes and robots. And in the process of doing all that, we forget about what our body really needs. Needless to say, at the end, guess what? My body still won because when I was tired and something was wrong, it finally got my attention. And I'm very thankful that it did. And I decided to listen to it before things took a turn for the worse. Lesson four, listening to the language of the body. Our bodies are always speaking. It's time we start listening. Let's rewind back to the subtle symptoms. I should have been at the doctor more often. I should have taken seriously when I was starting to see other symptoms. And then also to be proactive. I should have been in the doctor making sure everything was okay and learning more about myself and learning about where health looks like for me. So, because I was passive about some of those things. Oh, I'm just going to do a typical checkup. That's cool. Oh, I'm going to get some blood work done. That's cool. I didn't really invest myself in it. I am now. So, got to listen to your body. It does talk to you, it talks to us all the time. As they say with your body, it's smarter than we are. I remember somebody telling me that my body is smarter than me. Pay attention to it. And it's right. I am from this point forward. Lesson five is based around a full body practice of love. I learned that loving our bodies is a full body practice: nourishment, movement, therapy, rest, and grace. We treat self love like a ritual, right? When in actuality, it's a relationship. And when you're in that relationship with your body, your mind, your spirit, you have to be soft. You have to take care of it. You have to be compassionate. Because sometimes we think just going to get our nails done, our feet done, our hair done, that's self love. Now it is, but it's also a form of just maintenance. We like to look good, we like to feel good. But what do you do to love yourself? What do you do to really enjoy? I love to light my little candle, which I need to do right now. I love to light my candles and smell it as it's burning. I made this one by myself, by the way. I'm pretty proud of it. And I love to sip my ginger tea. In one of my previous classes, I can't remember what theorists we were talking about, but one of our assignments was based on what genuinely brings us joy. I took that and I reflected that on myself. And one of the things I found that makes me happy is crafting, like making candles. This makes me happy. Drinking tea, that makes me happy. Sitting here, taking in a deep breath, looking out the window, that brings me genuine joy. So these are things that we have to look at. Resting. I've come to learn I'm a napper. I likes me a good nap. And before I denied myself that nap, but God, I take a nap. I will take a nap in a heartbeat now. And I will sleep so good. It'll feel so good. But I had to realize that that's where one of my joys was at. Nourishment. What can I eat to enjoy? And the biggest thing is the last two biggest things is therapy, which is real. And I tell people all the time, if you have a rough past, demons, troubles, whatever you want to call it, go get some therapy. Find you a good therapist because you may not find the best one the first time, but find you a good therapist and start your healing process. Start fighting your or facing your shadows, which in other words is called shadow work, and actually starting the healing process. You have to love your body, love yourself, give you the things that you deserve. Because if you can't truly love yourself fully and truly find joy, how can you give that to someone else and to everyone else? And lesson 6, which is our final lesson, create a safe space from the inside out. We all deserve a safe space in our bodies, in our homes, and in our minds. So, peace isn't a luxury, it's the ground that we need to grow, right? We have to stand on creating spaces for ourselves that brings us peace. That goes from not just at home, but that's also at work. If you're lucky enough to have an office, my office, it's smaller. I downgraded it and it's my place of peace. It's where I hide out at and get things done. But it's set, there's certain things in my office that are set there, crystals, diffusers, purifier. I have all these little things, lighting. I have all these things specifically in this small space to just keep me grounded. When it comes to my home, I am constantly finding ways to make my home very cultural, very comforting, because when I come home, I always want to come home and go, I'm here. I've arrived, you know? And that's what I do when I come home. I walk in the house some days and I'm like, home, sweet home. I love it. And that brings me peace. That this is my safe space. This is where I can be myself. And in our minds, we have to take time out for meditation. We have to take time out to be alone and to sit there and just take things in. This is where nature comes in. Have you ever just came to your house and just sat? No TV, nothing, just get you some tea, just sit in front of your door like I do and sip. Those are the 6 lessons learned that I've learned from my experience over the last 4 months. And I hope that that inspired you. But now that I've told you those 6, what does that mean for me? What have I changed? Well, you know what? I wrote them down. So I'm going to tell you. See, there you go. I'm working on my perfectionism. Incorporating new health practices. So I really prioritize new activities such as rest. I'm about to start exercising. I just wanted to get my hemoglobin up to a safer space where I can start exercising. And I've just been approved to get back into my working out, which I genuinely look forward to doing. And getting into, as I mentioned, therapy, taking supplements, not just my iron, but I take vitamin D, vitamin C. This is why it's very important for you to get your blood work done so you can figure out where you sit health wise. And another thing I've been doing for the past year and a half, which I posted in my community, is journaling. I love journaling. It brings me joy, right? And I started it a year ago and I was really hard on myself about it. But over time, I just kept doing it until I finished my first book. This is my second book, and I do a visual in my journal. So I not only write, but I find pictures and I put it in there if I'm feeling like it. And I'm already about halfway done, a little more than halfway done. So this is something that I really enjoy doing. And if you're considering it, I say go for it because it has been a stress reliever for me to get my thoughts out. And it's also awesome to come and look back at it after a point in time to really reflect on what you said and how far you have come. Another one is to Hold on, that's tea time. Okay, get some tea. Your tea timer is done. All right. Put my honey over here just in case I need it. Let my tea sip or seep for a few minutes. It's amazing. So we're gonna put this over here. All right. Had to take a tea break. So I'm looking to turn our space into a homestead, and I'm gonna do a separate video on it. But I mentioned in the community post, check them out. They finally tore the house down next door. If you remember, about a year or so ago, I was really hoping that eventually they tear the house down. And when they finally tore it down and we saw how big the lot was next door, we went ahead and invested our sweat equity into getting the property next door. That's going to be an ongoing project that we are going to do, but that's still in the cards for me. And another thing I'm working on is returning to unfinished projects. I am actually getting to the point where I'm starting to focus on just doing one or two things at a time because I was a Jane of all trades and finish them. So I had to learn to really take my time, embrace it, and focus on one thing at a time, and just realize that me putting these other projects to the side is not me failing, because I felt like I was failing when I had to put them up. But it's not me failing, it's just me giving those projects the time that they need when they deserve them and when I'm ready for them. So, with all that being said, since I've been implementing some of those changes in my life, I am honestly more rooted, more grounded in what I do. I am happier. It's still a journey, but I feel really good about how everything is going and how it is turning out. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it inspired you in some way. If there's some things that you feel like you're struggling to overcome or things that you're working on positively for yourself, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you were new here and you joined while I wasn't here, thank you so much. You get a heart from me. You get the other half because right now I'm holding tea. But thank you so much. And for those that have been on this journey with me from day one, I appreciate you. I'm going to go ahead, let my boy finish cutting his grass, sip on my peace tea. This is what we have today, and enjoy my evening. And I hope you do too. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you continue to have a good day on purpose. Peace.